we have the dark side of relationships. The dark side of relationships shows how love and trust can turn toxic when people lie, cheat, manipulate, or abuse the ones that they care about. First, I'm going to talk about anger and aggression. Anger and aggression in relationships can lead to destructive cycles, resentment, and a breakdown of trust. These things include frequent fighting, name-calling, and the silent treatment. Signs of unhealthy anger are quickly escalating arguments, passive-aggressive behavior, intimacy issues, poor conflict resolution, and even physical and emotional harm. Unmanaged anger can build resentment, create distance, like a lack of connection, damage trust, and causes relationship breakdown from a combination of all of these things. Intimate partner violence refers to physical, verbal, and emotional violence that occurs between two people who are in or are recently in a romantic relationship. Intimate terrorism is when one partner uses physical violence to get control over the other. Situational couple violence is provoked by a particular situation that is emotional or difficult that leads to someone to respond or react with violence. Psychological aggression is a use of verbal and nonverbal communication with the intent to harm a partner mentally or emotionally, or to exert control over a partner to get what you want. Psychological abuse is most often carried out through communicative aggression, which is recurring verbal or nonverbal communication that significantly and negatively affects a person's sense of self. Communicative aggression includes degrading, like humiliating, blaming, berating, or name-calling somebody. Physically or emotionally withdrawing, like giving somebody the cold shoulder or neglecting them. Restricting another person's actions, like controlling money or access to friends and family. Dominating, like bossing them around and controlling their decisions. And threatening physical harm, like threatening to hurt yourself, another partner, or friends, family, or pets of that partner. The link in box number 1 shows a cycle of manipulative behavior and how one thing can affect another thing.
Lying and manipulation. Lying causes damages to trust. Relationships depend on honesty, and when one person in the relationship lies, the bond between the couple can weaken. Research shows couples who lie more often are more likely to fight and have more stress and tension in their relationship, explained by Whiting 2018. Small lies like pretending to agree or hiding your phone can build up and cause major arguments between the two. These become habits, and in the long run can ruin them and their connection. Manipulation. Manipulation turns love into control. Manipulation happens when one person in the relationship uses guilt and pressure to control the other. For example, using the phrase, "If you really love me, you'd..." Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation, which is when someone denies the truth to make the other question their feelings. This can make you insecure and lose confidence in your own judgment. From Stritt 2025. Overall, manipulation causes an imbalance in power and control in a relationship. It could make one lose their independence. This can turn love into something that's feared and confusing. To prevent lying and manipulation, you can set clear boundaries, trust your instincts, communicate directly, and walk away if needed. Doing these things can stop manipulation and lying early and protect your well-being.
Another key detail to dark sides to a relationship involves sexual and emotional cheating. When you are sexually cheated on, you tend to feel a lot of insecurity, wondering if you were the problem or wondering if it was all your fault that your partner decided to go be intimate physical with somebody else. It's really different from when you are cheated on emotionally. But with sexual cheating, it's an addictive thing. A lot of people tend to get those dopamine and serotonin spikes when they do cheat on their partner, making it very, very addictive. And when you're cheated on sexually, when you're the one being cheated on, your neural pathways can actually shrink or enlarge, which actually alters your brain chemistry. So it's a lot of chemical reactions going on in your brain for both the person that's cheating and the person being cheated on. Now, when you're cheated on emotionally, It tends to cause a really slow burn effect in the relationship because the person who was cheated on emotionally can feel the sensation of their partner drifting from them. And when you're cheating on someone emotionally, you're sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your dreams, everything in that category with someone that you're not supposed to be sharing them with. You're only supposed to share those with your partner, and when you're sharing them with someone else, it really disconnects you from the partner you have and that you're supposed to be sharing them with. This really causes just both partners in the relationship to have aggression, to have this just disconnection, which oftentimes ends up in a lot of projection and aggression and trust issues. Trust issues are the main thing that come out of cheating, both physically and emotionally. Overall, it can just end up in abusive relationships. It can cause just not enough trust to be able to form the bond that you need within a relationship.
Emotional well-being, self-worth, and ability to thrive in a relationship are affected by toxic behaviors, and it is important to recognize these early signs or patterns. Examples of these behaviors are emotional manipulation, which is guilt-tripping, gaslighting to control or influence their partner. Dismissing feelings, which is calling your partner overreacting or too sensitive. Blame shifting, which is not accepting any responsibility and blaming and making your partner the problem. Control or dominance, which one partner decides what they wear, see, and what they even think. Patterns and effects may include isolation, which is restricting access to friends, family, and support systems, which requires only dependence on their partner. Love bombing, which is using lots of affection, gifts to make the partner forget what they have done. This one has no accountability. And then lastly, neglect, which leaves one person feeling unsupported or alone in the relationship.
Recognizing toxic behavior. What can cause toxicity in a relationship? A relationship is full of ups and downs, but in a toxic relationship, you can feel as though you're unsupported or being attacked. Some factors that can cause a toxic relationship is past trauma, whether that be childhood trauma or past relationship trauma. This is other toxic relationships that they have adopted these toxic habits. Another part that plays into a toxic relationship is narcissists or narcissistic personalities. A narcissist is somebody who doesn't know how to deal with their own past trauma or their past some feelings that they just don't know how to deal with, and they choose to make their partner feel uncomfortable and make them feel as though they're being attacked. Why does toxic behavior often go unnoticed is a question that's asked very often. It's often very gradual and very hard to understand or notice that these are toxic behaviors. Some of the warning signs that you can look for is something as though as your partner saying, "I'm not drinking, you just have trust issues." This is a quote that shows the toxic behavior and making you feel as though that you're crazy and that you're the problem and not them. This is because they're scared of their own shame, or they have a drinking issue that they're not really ready to face, or just past family trauma that they're using drinking to cope with. The links below mine, which is number 6, this is from Lynn Asia. It's the title of the article is Recognizing Toxic Behavior, and she's a doctor that specializes in toxicity, and it just shows kind of some of the things that you can look for in a toxic relationship and how to get out of the toxic relationship. In the lying and manipulation column, those sites show the different cycles of what lying and manipulation can look like for different people, and that it's a serious issue and it can cause the most issues in relationships. And in the abuse and anger and aggression, there is a cycle that shows the different cycles that a person can go through and how to get out of it. And at the bottom of number 5, we have the abuse hotline. This is a 24-hour hotline that people can talk to and try to get out of the abusive relationship. Us as a group, we would put this poster in different hospitals and schools especially, and we put it in like private areas like bathrooms or out in the open, but typically in the bathroom so that people know that they're not alone and they always can get help.